The ending of Foundation Season 3, Episode 10 isn't just a finale, it's a turning point for the entire saga. Everything we thought we knew about Seldon's plan, the Empire's strength, and the fate of the galaxy has been shaken to its core. This episode doesn't just close doors, it blows them wide open, setting the stage for a Season 4 that could completely change the story forever. From the very beginning, Foundation has been more than just another sci-fi series. It's a sprawling epic that dares to ask one of the hardest questions in storytelling. Can destiny be controlled, or is free will always going to break through? The heart of the show has always revolved around Seldon's grand theory of psychohistory, a mathematical formula that predicts the rise and fall of civilizations over centuries. Hari's belief is that through his plan humanity can avoid 30,000 years of chaos and collapse and instead reduce it to just 1,000. But the challenge has always been this. No matter how precise the math, people, leaders, rebels, believers, and traitors are unpredictable. As Season 3 came to a close, Episode 10 carried that tension to its absolute peak. Every storyline from the clones of Empire struggling with their fragile hold on power, to the Foundation finding new strength, to Hari himself weaving his influence through unexpected paths, was drawn to a single explosive point. And what makes this finale stand out is how it both resolves the journeys we've been following and opens doors to mysteries that could reshape everything in Season 4. To really understand the weight of Episode 10, it's important to remember the road we've traveled so far. The Empire, represented by the genetic dynasty of Cleons, has been a symbol of unstoppable order. But cracks have been forming since Season 1. Doubts about faith, individuality, and power have eaten away at what once seemed eternal. Meanwhile, the Foundation, originally just a small group of exiles on Terminus, has grown into a force shaped as much by religion as by science. Seldon has become more than a man. He's been turned into a prophet, a godlike figure whose plan is worshipped as Holy Scripture. This clash between the cold, mechanical control of Empire and the fiery belief of the Foundation has always been the beating heart of the show. And in Season 3, both sides hit their breaking points. Empire has faced betrayal, rebellion, and weakness from within. The Foundation has wrestled with faith, with power struggles, and with the question of whether Hari's plan is truly a guide or just a cage. Episode 10 finally throws all of this into the fire. The finale doesn't just give us character moments, it asks the audience to rethink what this story is really about. Is Hari's plan truly unshakable, or are the people of the galaxy starting to bend it into something new? Are the Cleons destined to rule, or is the dynasty's end closer than anyone expected? These questions hang in every scene, making the finale not just the end of a season, but the start of something much larger. By the end of Episode 10, we're left with a galaxy that feels both broken and reborn. The Foundation is no longer just a small seed of hope, it's becoming a tree with roots spreading across the stars. The Empire, once a towering monolith, now feels fragile, vulnerable, even doomed, and Seldon, his presence is more mysterious than ever, proving that even in death, in myth, or in data, he may still be pulling the strings of history. This is why Episode 10 matters so much. It's not just about shocking reveals or dramatic battles. It's about the sense that we're standing on the edge of something far greater than what's come before. Season 3's finale dares to remind us that history isn't just written by victors, it's shaped by vision, sacrifice, and belief. And as we look towards Season 4, one thing is clear: the galaxy of Foundation has never been more dangerous or more exciting. The finale of Foundation Season 3 begins with the galaxy on the edge of collapse. Every storyline that has been running parallel throughout the season finally begins to converge, and the first few moments of Episode 10 make it clear that no one is safe. The tone is tense, the atmosphere electric, as the fragile balance between the Empire and the Foundation tips toward war. The episode opens with the Empire reeling from the aftershocks of betrayal. Day, the current ruling clone of the Cleon dynasty, faces his greatest test yet. Once seen as untouchable, Day now feels the weight of doubt, rebellion, and decay pressing down on his throne. We see the cracks in the genetic dynasty more clearly than ever before. Brother Dawn and Brother Dusk, once mere shadows of day, are no longer content to simply play their roles. Their growing individuality has become a threat to the very idea of an eternal, unchanging empire. Episode 10 forces U.S. to watch as the dynasty begins to cannibalize itself. Conversations are laced with suspicion, glances turn into daggers, and loyalty becomes a currency more valuable than blood. On the other side of the galaxy, the Foundation's leaders are making choices that will determine not only their survival, but the course of history. The people of Terminus, who once lived in exile, have grown into a force capable of defying even the greatest empire mankind has ever known. But with growth comes conflict. Belief in Seldon has become more than strategy, it has become religion. For some, this faith is a guiding light. For others, it is a prison. Episode 10 highlights this tension as leaders debate whether to follow the plan blindly or to trust their own instincts. It's a theme that has run through every season of Foundation. But here it takes center stage. Seldon himself, though technically long dead, remains a haunting presence. The finale shows just how deeply his vision has embedded itself into every decision, every rebellion, every act of loyalty or defiance. His appearances in this episode blur the line between man and myth. Is he still guiding events, or has he become a ghost trapped in the machinery of his own creation? One of the most powerful sequences of the finale shows Harry's influence reaching across time and space, pulling characters toward choices they may not even fully understand. It is as though psychohistory itself is a living force, whispering. In the ears of those who shape destiny, the middle of the episode delivers its most dramatic confrontations. Armies clash, betrayals unfold, and sacrifices are made. One by one, the pieces on the galactic chessboard begin to fall. A key betrayal from within Empire shakes the dynasty to its foundations. Secrets kept in shadows for decades spill into the light, leaving Day scrambling to maintain control. Meanwhile, the Foundation strikes a decisive blow that proves they are no longer a minor nuisance but a genuine rival to the Empire's power. The tension is relentless, with each scene building on the last until the stakes feel impossibly high. But the true brilliance of Episode 10 lies not just in its action but in its emotion. We see leaders stripped down to their most human moments. The Cleons, for all their cloning and power, reveal their deepest fears, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of becoming irrelevant, the fear that their dynasty was never eternal in the first place. On Terminus, we see ordinary people forced to make extraordinary choices, some sacrificing everything for a vision of a future they may never live to see. And throughout it all, the question lingers, are they following Harry's plan, or are they defying it? The climax of the episode brings every thread together in a breathtaking sequence. The Empire, once the undisputed master of the galaxy, stumbles on the brink of collapse. The Foundation, once scattered and fragile, rises as a symbol of defiance and hope. And Seldon, whether man, myth, or something in between, proves that his influence will echo far beyond his lifetime. The final minutes of Episode 10 are both devastating and exhilarating. Characters fall, alliances break, and new paths are set in motion. The galaxy feels forever changed, and yet the sense of uncertainty is stronger than ever. The closing scene is the perfect blend of resolution and mystery. On one hand, we see the immediate consequences of the battle, power-shifting hands, faith, either strengthened or shattered. On the other, we are left with haunting questions that reach beyond this season. Who truly controls the future? Is psychohistory an unbreakable law, or is it just one possible vision among many? And as the screen fades to black, the sense is unmistakable. Season 4 will not simply continue the story, it will reinvent it. Episode 10 of Foundation Season 3 isn't just a finale, it's a mirror reflecting everything the show has been building towards since its beginning. What makes this episode so powerful is how it balances spectacle with philosophy. Yes, there are battles, betrayals, and emotional confrontations, but beneath the surface, the story is asking the audience to reflect on the same questions haunting the characters. Is history something we control, or are we all just pieces in a plan too vast to comprehend? One of the biggest strengths of this finale is how it handles themes. Power, belief, and destiny all collide in ways that feel both inevitable and surprising. The Cleons, once symbols of absolute order, are now crumbling under the weight of their own design. Their empire was built on the idea that cloning could preserve perfection forever, but Episode 10 proves the opposite. The more they try to freeze history, the more fragile they become. It's not just a political collapse, it's a collapse of identity. Watching the Cleons turn on each other is tragic, not just because it means the end of their dynasty, but because it shows how desperately they wanted to believe they were uncheckable. Meanwhile, the Foundation represents the other side of the coin. Where the Empire clings to control, the Foundation thrives on faith and adaptation. In this episode, we see how belief in Hari Seldon's plan has grown into something far greater than strategy. It's a religion, complete with prophets, rituals, and followers willing to die for the cause. But the finale doesn't present this as a simple triumph. Faith, too, comes with dangers. Blind obedience can become just as dangerous as tyranny, and some characters begin to wonder whether following Hari's plan is truly the same as following their own destiny. This tension is what keeps the show's storytelling sharp. There are no easy answers. No simple heroes or villains, only people caught between faith and freedom on a character level. Episode 10 delivers some of the richest development of the series. Day, the ruling Cleon, is stripped of his illusion of control. His downfall isn't just political, it's personal. We watch him wrestle with vulnerability, betrayal, and the crushing weight of legacy. For once, the godlike ruler feels human, and that vulnerability makes his scenes some of the most compelling of the season. On the Foundation side, characters are forced to choose between loyalty to Hari's plan and loyalty to their own. Sacrifices are made, and while victories are won, they are not without cost. Every choice feels heavy, every line of dialogue loaded with meaning. The direction and cinematography of Episode 10 deserve special mention. The visuals are breathtaking, with space battles framed not just as action but as art. Shadows, light, and silence are used to amplify tension, creating a sense of grandeur that matches the scale of the story. The score underlines these moments with haunting tones that make every victory feel bittersweet and every defeat feel monumental. Even the quiet scenes, characters whispering in corridors or staring into the void of space, carry an intensity that rivals the larger battles, but the finale isn't perfect. If there's a weakness, it lies in the pacing. With so many threads to tie together, some moments feel rushed, as though the story didn't have enough time to fully breathe. Certain character decisions happen quickly, leaving the audience wishing for more build-up. Some emotional payoffs could have been even stronger with more space to explore them. Still, these flaws don't outweigh the overall impact. Instead, they remind us of just how ambitious Foundation truly is. Few shows attempt storytelling on this scale, and even fewer succeed as well as this one does. What makes Episode 10 truly unforgettable is how it blends intellect and emotion. It challenges the mind with questions about destiny and freedom, while pulling at the heart with moments of sacrifice, loss, and hope. When the Empire begins to fracture, we don't just see a government crumbling, we feel the fear and desperation of characters who believed in its eternity. When the Foundation rises, we don't just see a victory, we feel the weight of faith, the cost of rebellion, and the uncertainty of what comes next. It's this balance of grand philosophy and raw humanity that makes the finale resonate so deeply. In the end, Episode 10 feels less like an ending and more like a turning point. The world of Foundation has changed forever, and the characters we've followed are standing at the edge of something new. The finale reminds us why this story matters, not because of its battles or betrayals, but because it dares to ask what it means to shape history, and whether any one person or even a plan can truly control the future. As the credits roll on Foundation Season 3, Episode 10, one thing becomes clear. This finale wasn't just about closing a chapter. It was about tearing down walls so a completely new story could begin. And if the last episode is any indication, Season 4 is shaping up to be the most unpredictable, dangerous, and thrilling season yet. The Empire's future is the most uncertain it has ever been. The once mighty Cleon dynasty, built on the illusion of eternal control, now lies fractured. Day's downfall has left the throne vulnerable, and with dawn and dusk growing into independent identities, the very idea of a unified empire feels broken. Season 4 could explore the consequences of this collapse. Will we see a civil war among the Cleons, each clone fighting not just for survival but for recognition as an individual? Or will an entirely new leader emerge, someone outside the genetic dynasty, finally breaking the cycle that has ruled the galaxy for centuries? The finale hints that the age of the Cleons may be over, but in Foundation, endings always come with echoes, and it's possible that remnants of the dynasty will continue to haunt the galaxy in surprising ways. Then there is the Foundation itself, which has grown far beyond its humble beginnings on Terminus. By the end of Episode 10, the Foundation no longer looks like a small group of exiles following a dusty planet. It feels like a living movement, spreading across systems, winning hearts and minds. But with this growth comes a dangerous question. Can the Foundation stay true to Hari Seldon's vision, or will it fracture under its own weight? The seeds of doubt planted in Episode 10, characters wondering whether following the plan is the same as following freedom, could blossom into full-blown conflict. In Season 4, we might see splinter groups emerge, each claiming to interpret Hari's words differently. History tells us that religions often divide as much as they unite, and the Foundation's transformation into a faith could lead to civil strife that rivals the very chaos Hari tried to prevent. Hari Seldon himself remains the greatest mystery of all. Though long dead, his presence in Season 3 was felt more strongly than ever. In Episode 10, his influence crosses time, almost as if psychohistory has given him immortality. But Season 4 raises a chilling possibility. Has Hari become more than just a mathematician's projection? Has the myth consumed the man? And if Hari's vision begins to twist, what happens to the galaxy that has built its future on his promise? We might see a darker side of psychohistory emerge, a version not just guiding humanity, but controlling it, bending people's choices in ways that strip them of free will. If that's the case, Season 4 could turn Hari from savior to manipulator, forcing characters to decide whether to trust him or break free from his plan altogether. Another major thread the finale leaves dangling is the role of faith versus science. The Empire has always represented cold order, logic enforced through fear and cloning. The Foundation, by contrast, has evolved into something almost spiritual, a society where people believe in a prophecy of salvation. But what happens when belief clashes with reality? In Season 4, we could see new leaders rise who reject both extremes, carving a third path built on neither blind faith nor authoritarian control. Perhaps this is where the true future of the galaxy lies, not in the rigid formulas of psychohistory or the decaying rule of clones, but in humanity's ability to adapt, to dream, and to defy. And let's not forget the larger galactic stage. Season 3 expanded the world of Foundation beyond just Terminus and Trantor, giving us glimpses of other systems and factions. Season 4 has the chance to go even further, introducing new players who will disrupt the balance of power. Perhaps rival empires waiting in the shadows. Perhaps alien presences hinted at in the background. Or perhaps hidden sects within the Foundation itself, each with their own vision of the future. The galaxy feels bigger and more unstable than ever, and the finale makes it clear that we've only scratched the surface of what's out there. What excites fans most is the sense of unpredictability. In earlier seasons, Hari's plan gave the illusion that everything was moving toward a set outcome. But Episode 10 shatters that certainty. If psychohistory can be bent, if empires can fall faster than expected, if faith can reshape reality, then Season 4 becomes a story without a map. Every choice will matter, every betrayal will echo, and every character could shift the future in ways even Hari didn't predict. The final moments of Episode 10 left us with haunting images: a weakened empire, a rising Foundation, and a galaxy trembling on the edge of transformation. Season 4 won't just be about who wins or loses, it will be about what kind of future emerges from the chaos. Will it be one of freedom, faith, or tyranny? Will Hari's 1,000-year plan hold, Or will humanity prove too wild, too unpredictable to ever be controlled? These are the questions that make the wait for Season 4 almost unbearable, and so, as we look ahead, the message of Episode 10 is clear. The game has changed. The old rules are gone. The galaxy is entering a new era, one shaped not by destiny alone, but by the choices of those who dare to challenge it. Season 4 promises not just answers, but new mysteries, new battles, and new legends waiting to be written.